the defeat handed to Raditz and company at the hands of Goku and his friends, the Saiyans find themselves healing at a nearby Frieza Force station. At the same time, Frieza has received word that one of the members of his empire has decided to betray him. Not wanting to send anyone special to do the dirty work, Frieza decides to send the Saiyans to deal with it. Who is this new enemy? Why has Frieza decided to send our warriors? Find out now.
Having just woken up from his healing tank, Gohan goes to meet with Raditz and Vegeta. Gohan walks over to Raditz, who is talking to a random Frieza soldier. Raditz turns to Gohan and tells him that he has been informed that they have a mission to track down someone who has turned against Frieza. Gohan asks Raditz who Frieza is, and Raditz immediately tells Gohan that he is no concern to him at the moment. Gohan, still curious, agrees and continues to follow Raditz down the corridor. When they arrive back to the healing room, they are shocked to see Vegeta out of his pod since he suffered the most damage out of all of them. Raditz jokes with Vegeta, telling him that he's lucky he arrived or he would have surely been dead. Vegeta then tells Raditz that he'd rather be dead than to be beaten by a low-level warrior and then to be saved by one as well. Raditz then brushes this off and asks Vegeta if he's been informed of their next mission. Vegeta tells him that Frieza's problems are not his, but that he will use this mission to strengthen himself, and then he'll take over the planet. Raditz then asks Vegeta if he was told who the defector was. Vegeta nods, and Gohan asks who the person they're going after is. Raditz tells Gohan that they're going after another Saiyan, and that it should pose no threat to them. Vegeta scoffs and tells Raditz that he doesn't need to come on this mission, as he will make sure to end it as quickly as it started. The Saiyans then get into their pods and set the course for Shik, a planet that our warriors have seen before.
We followed Frieza's every command like sick, loyal dogs. Needless to say, it was a job we Saiyans excelled at.
That was great! Yes, but I can't wait to get to my healing capsule. All this fighting has made me sore. Can you believe how fast we banged up that planet? I bet Frieza will give us a huge reward. I hate this! You know, I've been hearing talk about how our home planet was destroyed. First, I didn't believe it, but now, they say it didn't really collide with another planet. Like we thought. What do you mean? They say that Frieza did it. Why?
I already knew that. Strength is the only thing that matters in this world. Everything else is just a delusion for the weak. There's only one certainty in life. A strong man stands above and conquers all. And with each fight I'll get stronger and stronger. One day I'll be strong enough to beat Frieza, and I will rule the universe! Exactly as I was meant to.
Vegeta smirks and sits back into his pod to endure the trip ahead. Gohan wakes up hearing a beeping in his pod, letting him know that they're arriving at the planet. He looks outside the pod to see a giant structure protruding from the planet. He then contacts Raditz to see what it could possibly be, but Raditz tells him it's alien to him as well. Landing on the planet, the Saiyans walk out to see nothing, but Vegeta comments that he knows what this is. Before anybody can get a word out, 5 armored soldiers land in front of them. The soldiers announce for them to state their names. Vegeta then tells them that they have no idea what they're in for, and they should send word to that coward Turles that they will find him eventually. Gohan looks up at Raditz and asks if Turles is the guy they're after. Raditz looks down and then nods at Gohan. The soldiers then tell them that Lord Turles is busy making sure that they will all become gods. Raditz then laughs and asks if they really believe that he would let them become gods. Turles' minions launch towards all three, but are quickly smacked away and knocked back. Raditz boasts that not even the 5 of them would be able to beat the child, but before any more words could be exchanged, 5 individual blasts take out all 5 soldiers. Vegeta, standing there with his hand raised, scoffs and tells them pointless banter isn't going to finish this mission. Gohan then asks what they are meant by becoming gods, and Vegeta says that he didn't believe it to be true. He then states that he heard of legends of a tree whose fruit has the ability to give on the power of a god. Raditz looks stunned and tells Vegeta that if Turles has found that fruit, then this may be a suicide mission. Vegeta tells him that if he had the power, he would have come and killed them himself. It's Saiyan nature. Raditz agrees and the group heads towards the tree. When they arrive at the side of the tree, they see the devastation as the energy from the planet has been nearly depleted. Gohan looks around and asks Raditz why everything's being destroyed. Raditz explains that the energy from the planet must be what's giving the person the power so immense that it would be equal to a god. From a distance, they hear laughter and turn to see a silhouette standing above them on top of a root. Turles, standing above them, tells them that he can't believe Frieza would send his own kind to take him out, especially the prince. Vegeta then yells for Turles to show himself and to come and fight him one-on-one. Turles steps out from under a shadow and the other 3 Saiyans look aghast. Turles, even though confused, laughs and tells them that it looks like they've seen a ghost. The other Saiyans can't believe what they're seeing in front of them, another Saiyan that looks exactly like Kakarot. Vegeta sarcastically asks Raditz if they're somehow related. Raditz tells Vegeta to shut up and then begins to intensely stare down Turles. Turles looks down to see Gohan and asks Vegeta if the kid is also Saiyan. Vegeta doesn't answer and goes straight for Turles, knocking him down, but he gets back up with no signs of wear. Vegeta then yells at Raditz, telling him that the bastard must have ate the fruit. When Vegeta turns around, he sees Turles vanish and appear behind him, sending him flying backwards towards the others. While this is happening, Gohan is standing there remembering meeting his father again on Earth. The sight of Turles is filling him with so many emotions and he has no idea what to do. Raditz then runs towards Turles and gets sent back flying while Turles walks towards Gohan, who is still in shock of what he's seeing. Turles then grabs Gohan and asks whose child he is. Gohan then in a fit kicks Turles with no avail and gets thrown towards the tree. Vegeta and Raditz stand back to back and begin to fire towards Turles, but he just walks towards them and sends them both flying back towards Gohan. With them all in his attention, Turles tells them that if they were to join him, they could take down Frieza and regrow the Saiyan Empire. Vegeta stands up and tells Turles that he has never bowed before anybody before, and he will certainly not bow to a low-level Saiyan traitor like him. Turles sighs and tells Vegeta that he is no low-level Saiyan anymore, as he is a god, and will make Vegeta know it. Vegeta and Raditz again launch at Turles, but cannot land a single blow to him. He then sends Vegeta back, but he lands and launches right back into the fight. The fight rages on and Gohan can't do anything because he feels he will only get in the way. But suddenly Turles yells enough and grabs Vegeta and slams him into the ground, giving Raditz enough time to launch a double Sunday right towards him. It hits Turles and he turns with a mark on his face, scowling at Raditz. Turles kicks Vegeta towards Gohan and then begins to take the fight to Raditz. Vegeta turns to Gohan and tells him that if he wants to continue to be useless, they will all die here. Gohan hears this and begins to well up with rage as his feeling towards his father begin to finally manifest as he looks at Turles fight Raditz. Turles hits Raditz, and while Raditz lands on his knee and looks up, Turles looks down and curb stomps him right into the ground. Raditz, stunned under the boot of Turles, hears him say, "You don't get it, do you? I'm a god and none of you can stop me. You're all pests now, and by not joining me, you've set yourself up for death." Turles turns around to see Gohan radiating with energy and begins to laugh. He tells Gohan that he is outmatched and shouldn't even try it. Gohan then tells Turles that he failed last time he fought him, but he won't this time. Turles, confused, tells him that he's never fought him before, but if he insists, he will end this. Raditz, confused, realizes that Gohan believes Turles is his father. Gohan then explodes with fury and hits Turles straight in the gut, sending him flying towards the root of the tree. Gohan, enraged, stops over Raditz to ask if he's okay, but Raditz tells him not to worry about him and to keep fighting. Turles gets up and coughs up a bit of blood from his mouth. He sees Raditz talking to Gohan and can't believe he is seeing compassion between Saiyans. Turles yells out to him and tells him that there are repercussions for hurting a god. Turles appears behind Gohan and knocks him to the ground, telling him to watch as he displays what happens to weaklings. He then picks up Raditz by the throat and sends a blast right through his heart. Raditz drops to the ground and falls lifeless. Gohan looks in disbelief, as the only person who cared for him has now died right in front of him. Turles begins to laugh and tell Gohan that having emotions will do nothing except get him killed. Vegeta then looks up and sees Raditz lying on the ground beside Turles and yells for Gohan to get out of there. Gohan then looks up at Turles and begins to cry without losing his calm. Turles continues to laugh and Gohan says under his breath, "You killed him." Turles looks down to see an aura emanating from around Gohan. Turles uses his scouter and it breaks from the amount of power that Gohan is generating. Gohan lets out an ear-piercing scream and a red and yellow aura surrounds him. And he yells at Turles to bring him back. Turles, still confused, tells Gohan he doesn't have to bring him back because he'll be joining him shortly. Turles launches towards Gohan and lands a punch straight to his face, but Gohan keeps his gaze right at him. Turles flips back and realizes that this power is something beyond even his. He blasts Gohan repeatedly, but Gohan rushes towards him and lands a fury of blows, knocking Turles to his knees. Gohan then continues to smash Turles into the ground and Vegeta watches on. Vegeta is taken aback and falls to one knee and says, "It couldn't be." Gohan then launches Turles, who is barely able to move, into the tree where another piece of fruit lands about 10 feet away from him. Turles watches as Gohan launches towards him with his pupils completely gone but still fixated on him, screaming. Turles launches towards the fruit, but it is destroyed by a blast. Turles looks over to see Vegeta standing with his arms crossed, smirking. Turles then looks up to see Gohan standing above him. Gohan then curb stomps Turles just like he did to Raditz multiple times, and does so until Turles is unresponsive. The fight is now over, and Gohan falls out of this power and passes out, falling to the ground. Vegeta stands over him and says to himself that maybe this child is somewhat of a help. He then looks over to Turles and ends him with one final blast for good measure. Vegeta then looks at the fruit that still hangs from the tree and begins to think of the wonders of this power. He then scoffs and picks Gohan up to take him back to the pods, and he looks over at Raditz's bodies and says, "For a low-level warrior, you have my respect." He then sends words to Frieza's forces that the mission is done and the planet must be destroyed, along with the tree. We then see our two warriors blast into space, where our story leaves off for now.